Hey, what's up guys? Chris here, and if you read the title of the video, you are correct. Now see, when I was about 12 years old, I was actually abducted by aliens when I had lived in a mobile home trailer that was a rental at the time when I was about 12 years old. So, anyway, the day was normal, just like any other day. It was a very normal day, and it was just a very normal day like any other day out. And all of a sudden, later that night, I remember seeing this bright blue light outside that was staying perfectly still, because I was looking out the window at the time. And all of a sudden, as I'm looking at it, the strangest thing happens. So, all of a sudden, the strangest thing that happened is, so it's staying perfectly still, so I'm looking at it and looking at it. I really didn't pay no mind to it. So I'm watching TV, I'm in the living room on the couch where I had a light on in my living room and I had a blanket on the couch because it was still winter time. It was very cold out. And the only reason I'm sharing this video is because a lot of you may not know this, but this really did actually happen. So, now back to the story. So, I had the blanket on the couch. I'm wrapped up in the blanket, because it's winter time and, it's like still very, very cold outside. So, I'm watching TV, everything's fine. And I look out the window again and I see that bright blue light out there still. And I was like, that's so weird, it's staying still. And I said, I've never seen that bright blue light outside before at all. So, I didn't pay no mind to it, So, all of a sudden, next thing you know, like I said, everything's fine. Everything's fine. So then, all of a sudden, I go back to watching TV. So I go back to watching the TV, and there's a later airing of Jeopardy on TV with Alex Trebek. So I'm watching that, and all of a sudden, I happen to look over by the living room door, and nothing's there. And then I go back to looking over at the TV. Then I look over by the living room door again, and there are these two, all of a sudden there are these two alien-like creatures appear out of nowhere. And I literally thought I would make it a run for it, but before I could make a run for it, they were getting closer, closer, and closer. So then, all of a sudden, this is where things get really strange. So all of a sudden, they literally drag me off the couch into the kitchen area of where my kitchen table was at the time, and all of a sudden, they did something to me. I do not know what they did to me, but next thing you know, all of a sudden they end up putting me back on the couch in the living room with a blanket on me still like it was before, and all of a sudden I go like that, and I'm back in the living room. I look around the living room, I look over by the front door. No one's there. I was like, wow, that was strange. Then all of a sudden, my big toe on my foot starts to hurt. I'm like, oh my god, why the hell is my toe hurting, man? Like, what the fuck? So I go to look at my big toe, and all of a sudden, I see this big blue stone about this big, about this deep, into my foot. I was like, well, that would explain why it hurts so bad. So, needless to say, the next day, yes, getting that stone out of my foot that deep was a bitch to get out. I remember it being a real pain in the padded ass. That I remember very well. So, all of a sudden, so it's out, and yes, I did live. Thank God I'm okay. And yes, if you're wondering, yes, eventually, a couple years later, I did actually move out of that rental trailer home at the time and end up moving somewhere else into a completely different place.